I still remember my first experience in the office. I went into my office, big office, everywhere there are people running around, very busy with themselves, and I was like looking around here and there, just looking at the board, looking at the people, looking at everybody, and basically being a lot overwhelmed. And at the same time, there was this pang in the stomach, a lot of curiosity as to what's going to happen, anxiety. There are so many emotions that go through in a young engineer or a young employee's mind. But the first work experience is an amazing experience. Something that's new, it's something that's interesting, and it's something that's yeah. I think uh, you'll have to make peace that this is the place that you're going to be for the next 30 years. Not just in one company though, uh, but in a sector that you're going to be there for quite some time. And yeah, it's like you're a kid again. So you're basically back to square one, square zero. You're learning, you're relearning, you're unlearning, you're upskilling, you're reskilling, you're unskilling. There are many such things that happen for a new joiner at the workplace. So there are some things that you should basically keep in mind when you get to that phase. Now, maybe some guiding points, maybe some lessons learned and best practices from my own end. I've been in the sector for around 8 years. Worked with quite a lot of new joiners in the organization, and yeah, these are some of the things. And me being a new joiner, I think I've learned a lot more from experience, from doing mistakes than anybody else. In that particular sector. So you learn from your own mistakes, you learn from others' mistakes, you learn from your own good things, you learn from others doing great things. So you are on a constant learning phase in the first 2 years of your overall corporate experience or corporate employee experience. And I think one of the things that is very important to understand is you will not know everything in one day. So that's something that you should absolutely make peace with. It's a slow process. Learning takes a lot of time. You'll have to learn how the company works. You'll have to learn what are the processes involved. You'll have to learn what's the product. You have to learn what's the process involved in making the product. How is it working? What are the problems associated with that? Why is the product needed in the first place? Then go a little deeper into your software, your hardware, your mechanics, your and then get into the design, understand the requirements, understand what's happening, understand how it's happening, understand why it's happening. So it's a very long process, and I don't think you're gonna have something for you just as soon as you jump in. So it is a lot of things to basically learn, basically explore. And you don't have to learn everything at once. Just remember when you were in your kindergarten, you started with ABCD and not with quadratic equations of the third degree. So just stay in there, hit the gym, and then basically hit the office with curiosity, with intensity, and a desire to learn. And secondly, I think there are don't expect spoon feeding. So this is something that you should understand that not all places have great learning experiences, but then you have to learn to stay in the game. So you have to be curious, you have to ask questions. It's not that people are not going to answer, but everybody has their ass on fire. So at some points you may not get guided, even though you're a new kid on the block. You'll have to hit the road running, and then ask questions, learn, explore, be curious, find out. Uh, this is how it's going to be going forward. But always, yeah, you may be lucky wherein you find people who've been through the same stuff, and then there's always going to be a learning from them as to what's the to dos, what's the not to dos, how do you learn, what to learn, what not to learn, how to learn quickly, what is important to start off with. A lot of these things will come to you as and when you start actually understanding the process of and the process and the pros and cons of being in the no spoon feeding business. So that freedom is great. I think initially the first year and a half is perfect for us to learn. The more we learn, the faster we learn, the better it is. Just because we are saying, this is you have to take care of your own learning, or you have to invest yourself in more learning, doesn't mean that you need to get to 18 hours, 20 hours, 30 hours of work a day. It is important that you also maintain balance. You learn from it. Use with time, so you learn from it slowly. But please understand that just because we ask you to be curious, start exploring, doesn't mean that you need to spend a lot of time in the office. There needs to be also a balance. And I think fourth, or third one is, nothing is permanent. You're always replaceable. Try and find yourself in places where you're learning new things, upgrading your skills, and also being somebody who's on top of their game. So this helps specifically in terms of your worth in the organization, the value that you bring to the organization. So try and get yourself into new skills that are pretty much irreplaceable. But understand that as a corporate, as an entity, there is always going to be things wherein somebody else is better than you, somebody else is expecting lesser pay than you for the same work or the double the work. Uh, corporates are business. Corporates are businesses. Corporates are not there for you to learn. Corporates are not there so that you have salary at the end of the day. It's not as symbiotic as it looks. Corporate is still looking to make its own money. So there's always going to be that consideration. But you always bring a value to who you are, what you do, how you do it. Always adds to a great flavor in you as a person, for you as well as in the company. I think another very important thing is that you should understand that everybody makes mistakes. It is not that everybody has come here without making mistakes. Your manager, their manager, I think they've had more mistakes. They've committed more mistakes. They've learned from them, and that's why they're there. So they're making new mistakes every day. So don't worry that you may not get everything at once. There may be things that you may do wrong, uh, and then the corporate system is robust in terms of having reviews, having some sort of a mentorship or some sort of a check, specifically when you're new into the organization. There will be people who are looking into it. They're also equally invested in you getting competent faster, and also that you need to understand for your own personal safety that you make mistakes. That is absolutely okay. It's not that you are incompetent. It's not that you are not good enough. It's completely okay to make mistakes, but it's important that you learn from them, not repeat them consistently. So this is something that you should remember as freshers. Um, I think overall in the first 2 3 years, find your niche. Find something that helps you make a name for yourself. Something that you're very passionate about. Something that you're interested in. Something that puts you into a joyful state, and not really basically droning the same thing again and again and again. So you become a little more aware of your own strengths, aware of your own shortcomings, and what are your skills. So find some skills that are synonymous with who you are. So Sunil meaning something, and then basically somebody who's there in high pressure, high intensity situations. Somebody who's great with presentation skills. Somebody who's great with time management. So you bring your own skills. You build a niche over a period of time. So it's very important that you build that. It's you're coming in with a fresh slate. Uh, Take your time and basically build a niche for yourself. And essentially, I think number six is observe and learn. A lot of things, like in the not spoon feeding business, is about learning by observation. Learn how people do certain things, how they handle certain situations, and a lot of that doesn't need a classroom. So you're there in the field, you're there in the office, on the floor, during meetings, during outings, during wherever. Understand how people react in high pressure, high intensity situations, how people react in uh, situations that are comfortable for them, how people help you, what can you do to help. So all of these things can be observed and learned. and observe emotional wavelengths, observe knowledge wavelengths, build yourself some resilience with learning, and also make it a little more fun. I think it's very important to have fun in the organization. It's not your typical fun at work, but then you are enjoying your work. You come there with a smile on your face. You don't drone that it's over Wednesday, not too excited just because it is Friday. You're excited each day of the week, and you come, you have conversations, you have learning, you do mistakes, and I think you should enjoy this as a part of the process. Yeah, and yeah, maybe just before I get off, yeah, these are some of the things that were very important for me to share. Yeah, but also I think you should understand that a lot of times, yeah, you will have to hear these words called priority. You will have to you use a lot of corporate jargon to explain as to what's going on in your own to your own household. And I think also that's a very important thing. Maintain a work-life balance. Give equal time for your family, give equal time for your friends, give equal time for work. All three things have to happen. Give equal time for yourself, I think. So these are some of the things that are very essential for new joiners of the workplace. I hope this video has been interesting. I know it's quite a long one, but I think I have given as many points as I know of. So it's a great experience for anybody coming into corporates, anybody starting their employee journey. And yeah, if there are questions, if there are things that you need to be answered from my end, please feel free to write me a message. I will definitely respond to you, and let's have a conversation. And all the best for your onboarding experience, and all the best for your first 2 years in any organization, in any learning as such. Yeah, thank you.